Our circle not only was formed to bring more money to the table to address programs on behalf of women and girls, but it really was to increase philanthropy across the board and increase women's comfort level and understanding and impact through philanthropy.
I don't think any of us was a stranger to charitable giving, to the idea of giving back to the community in various ways. But the excitement of being able to target that work and that effort on the needs of women was galvanizing.
And for me to be with a group of women who are the decision makers has been really has been an education.
I've enjoyed in my role being able to educate, inform women of my generation that they can. You don't have to be a Rockefeller to give good money. And especially with our organization, every dollar counts.
There was this desire to help other women that existed in the community and to support each other. Not just to help other women, but to support each other. That it existed there. We just happened to tap it at the right moment, and we had this wonderful response.
Buffy had called me and said, we're going to be doing this presentation in Baltimore, and we're really wanting to gather together, a nice group of women philanthropists that might be receptive to this idea of a different way of giving, and really expanding on women's philanthropy, leveraging different ideas about how that could happen.
And Gina and I and Linda hung it together, and we heard this great presentation and got really excited. It just sounded great. I had never heard of circles, so it was really interesting.
And hatched up the idea that that it would be nice to create some sort of instrument in Columbia, Howard County that would focus on philanthropy among women. And before we reached home, we had added the concept that it would be women's philanthropy targeted toward the needs of women and girls, women and children. And that was the genesis.
We immediately saw it as an opportunity to actually address the issue of women's and girls, which was closest to our hearts. And I think closest to our hearts because we are in that generation of women that are acutely conscious of the limitations of our mothers, the limitations imposed on our mothers.
I think the successes and meeting the mission is very obvious when you look at any part of the Giving Circle. For me, particularly the Response Network, for example. I mean, the instant effect of the Response Network is extraordinary.
It started in 2003 with me going to all the nonprofit agencies in the county and meeting with them and getting wish lists. We started getting requests from individual women, from school counselors, just from people in the community who had heard of women in need.
My experience has been that women want to reach out and help each other, and that's been proven to me again and again every time I send out the Response Network.
And it needed to be a woman who needed a one-time amount of money. She had had some immediate crisis, but she would be able to get back on her feet.
I would send out that email for help for another woman, and I just remember the feeling of those emails coming back at me, just all these women who I didn't know instantly writing to me and saying, yes, 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 I'll help. And it just so affirmed, my faith in people at a time that I wasn't so sure I had a lot of faith in people. And honestly, there were many days that I just felt like that Response Network, reaffirm my faith. I used to say in womanity because it wasn't really humanity, it was women.
Among the early initiatives, one of the ones that is most powerful to me is the emphasis we decided to place on middle school girls and on the development of self-authority, personal authority, and high self-esteem.
As a young woman in society, I've been able to see that right now, by law, we do have equal rights, but the mentality of the world that we live in is still kind of held back for women.
Journey is a leadership summer residential program specifically for Howard County girls, and it's really about empowering them and making them feel like that they are confident, that they're respected, that they are comfortable with who they are, and that they're ready to make some of the difficult decisions that are going to face them as they're entering high school.
It was staggering. It was such an accomplishment. So many people came together, and the girls, as a result of it, are just wonderful.
The Young Women's Giving Circle is a group, and we are high school girls from all around the county, and we raise money for grants, which we choose organizations in the community that fit our goals, just like the Women's Giving Circle, to serve young women, and girls. And we also do community service activities.
We're a bunch of girls who are leaders in our community, and if we can show that we can help others and that we're powerful too, then we're going to portray that to other people.
The other thing that I'm so overwhelmed with is the circle team for Iron Girl. I mean, the young women that have come forward, and they're healthy and happy, and they're so involved in the Giving Circle.
I love that we, especially through the Circle team, that we've brought people in who first didn't think they were philanthropists, then discovered that they were, and they were pretty darn good at it. And then, they could have just stayed on and been part of the team, but they fell in love with our mission too. And now they're involved in committees, and now they're involved with, moving the organization forward. And I think that's really exciting. I like that we sort of don't know where we're headed in that sense. Like, strategically we know where we're headed. How we're going to get there, I think New Blood is really going to tell us that.
The Women's Giving Circle has the ability to continue to bring awareness and sensitivity to the issues that women have in order for them to raise their families, to have independence, and be successful in life. And this sort of philanthropy is empowering.
We're teaching philanthropy. We are enabling women to start small and to move forward into bigger donors without even having to think about it.
As women, we need to be able to be there for one another and learn from what's happened. And I think my daughters really don't have a full appreciation at this time or understanding what generations before us have gone through as women. And so given that that's the focus of the circle, and in a small community like this, I think we have a great opportunity to raise strong women and raise strong girls.